You just graduate college? You have no idea what to do about your finances? Well, trust me, you're not alone. According to studies, over 50% of people who've graduated college in the past few years haven't even taken a single personal finance course. That is crazy. I recently graduated college 2 years ago, and I've been going on my own journey of financial literacy and being more responsible with my finances. I thought I'd just share a couple of steps that I've taken that I think would be great for you. Now, the thing about financial advice is I have a strict rule. I don't take financial advice from people who I wouldn't want to have the same financial situation as. And I think that's important in this case because I want to be fully transparent with what my financial situation is. Currently, I'm a software engineer at Microsoft. I make over $138,000 a year. I have around $40,000 in savings in various accounts, and I have $8,300 left in student debt. Once that debt is paid off, I will be debt free. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this. You may not be a stranger to the idea that student debt is at an all-time high. That's why step one is I want you to just sit down and list out all your debts. If you graduate college, odds are you have debt. Now, the average debt in the United States is around $30,000 of student debt. And the trap is that a lot of students, when you graduate college, you feel like you've done a lot of work and you just want to celebrate and you don't want to tackle this debt. This is what I even did for a year. That's why I'm so late in paying this debt off, even though I have the income to do it. I want to help you avoid the mistake I made. Start paying off your debt now. The best way to do this is what I've learned as the debt snowball method. That means take all of your debts, your car, your credit card, your student loans, and list them out from smallest to largest. Then you're going to attack each debt with a vengeance, starting from the smallest. You're going to do this regardless of interest rate, because the reason you're doing it in this way is mainly psychological. When you start gaining momentum and you're able to pay off that smallest debt, that motivates you to pick up side jobs, to adjust your budget, to do whatever you can to just get this debt paid off. I've seen it work in my own life. Do things like sell instruments or things around your house that you don't use anymore. Whatever you need to do, get this debt away as soon as possible. That's what I want you to be focusing on. Next, this is super important. A lot of people, when you go to a college and you accept your acceptance, you're usually 18 and you don't really have a good idea of what you want to do in life. A lot can change after 4 years. And if you go through college and you're not focused on your career and your career trajectory, this can really set you back. What I want you to do is take the current job you're in and make a 5-year plan. If you were to stay in your current job for 5 years, how long would it take you to get a raise? Do you see a path for you to get promotions and raises within the next 5 years in your current job? If you don't, consider changing your job or your career, because the most important thing you want to avoid is stagnating growth. With things like inflation and housing prices rising, you need to have a clear path to wage growth. The income you earn is perhaps the most important wealth building tool you have. So you need to focus on how much money you're making now and how you're going to make money in the future. The next thing after you've done that career planning is I want you to sit down and create a budget. Now, I think the only budgeting process that works is a zero-based budget. That means you take the total amount of income you have coming in and you want to subtract all of your expenses. When you do that, your budget should equal zero. That means after you've paid off things like rent, utilities, and various bills, you should be giving all of the leftover margin a job. So say you want to put $500 towards savings. That's an expense you want to subtract. At the end of the month, you should have $0 left in your budget. Now you may have $500 left in your savings, but you should have $0 left in your budget. This just allows you to know exactly where every dollar is going. So you're never questioning, where's my money going? Something that's really important to this budget is that your housing payment should be no more than 25% of your take-home pay. This is because if you do, you have too much house. If you have a house payment that's more than 25% of your take-home pay, you don't have enough margin to do other things in your life, like go out to eat, save for the future. And you probably felt this. If you have a really high rent payment, you're probably thinking, man, most of my money goes to rent every month. That's why you want to find a way to get 25%. And I know housing is really expensive these days, so you might have to get a roommate. You might have to get a side job. But this is really important. At the end of the day, you can't beat math. The numbers are going to get subtracted from your bank account, and the numbers are going to be screaming at you that you need more margin. So while you're building this budget, make sure your housing only takes up 25%. After you've done these 3 steps, you want to think about your savings. Savings are so important. I think the last time I checked, the statistics were around 50% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency. That is crazy. You need to have a savings so that you can avoid emergencies making you financially bankrupt. So the next step I want you to do is start saving up $1,000 worth of emergency funds. And once you've paid off all of your debt, build up that emergency fund farther to 3 to 6 months of expenses. The reason being is your debt is your biggest barrier to you building up savings. The reason for that is because debt grows in interest. While you're saving money, you're losing money, and you're not effectively saving money if you're losing money at the same time. So what you need to do is start with $1,000, attack your debt with a vengeance. Once you're out of debt, then build up the 3 to 6 months of emergencies. Now, this is not for investing. This is for you. This is your own life insurance policy you're taking out against yourself. This is the barrier between you and life, because life will happen. The question is, will you happen to it, or will it happen to you? I prefer being prepared for things. So this is why this emergency fund is really, really important. Lastly, once you have those emergency funds saved up and you're out of debt, start investing for retirement. You may have heard in the news that if you're between the ages of 20 to 30, there may not be enough money left in Social Security for you to retire. And lots of Americans today are not going to be able to retire effectively because they haven't been contributing to their savings in retirement. After you're out of debt and you have an emergency fund, save 20% of your income into retirement each year. This is a non-negotiable because you're going to turn 60. That's going to happen unless you die early. And you're going to reach that age regardless of if you've saved for retirement or not. So I'm telling you, be prepared. Have your retirement savings built so that by the time you reach retirement, you can retire with dignity. If this video helped, please leave a like and leave comments below about what you want to hear next. I just want to share a piece of my own financial journey as I've been going through this process. Peace and have a great day.